You grow up in a suburb of Seattle, not the tech giant part. The gray, rain-slicked part where the houses look like they were built to be forgotten. Your father is a shift lead at a Boeing parts warehouse. Your mother is a night shift actuary for a health insurance firm. They don't talk much. They calculate. You don't play sports. You have a Dell Optiplex you scavenged from a dumpster behind a community college. You spend your weekends in the terminal. While other kids are learning to drive, you're learning to navigate the OSY model. You learn that the world isn't made of people, it's made of packets. You're 14 when you find the back door. A local ISP has a misconfigured SNMP community string. You don't steal anything, you just watch. You watch the traffic flow like a river. You learn to read hexadecimal before you can read a girl's expression. You realize that every lock has a key, and most people leave their keys under the mat because they find security inconvenient. You're 17. You write a script in Python that automates the collection of SQL injection vulnerabilities on government subdomains. You don't execute. You just map. You build a library of flaws, a digital blueprint of the walls people think are solid. You graduate high school with a 2.8 GPA. The teachers think you're lazy. They're wrong. You're just optimized. Why spend 4 hours on a history essay when you can spend 4 hours learning to bypass two-factor authentication via SS7 exploits? You don't want a diploma. You want the root password to the world. Your first job isn't a crime. It's a correction. Your father's warehouse fires him 2 years before his pension kicks in. They cite automated efficiency. You spend 3 nights in a dark room fueled by lukewarm coffee and spite. You don't break in, you just use a credential stuffing attack on the HR manager's personal email. You find her password, her cat's name, and the year she graduated. You enter the server. You don't delete files. That's for amateurs. You modify the metadata. You change your father's termination code from for cause to early retirement with full benefits. You clear the audit logs. You leave no footprints. Your father gets his check. He thinks it's a clerical error. You know it's a successful payload. You realize then that the law is just a set of if-then statements, and you found the compiler. You're 19. You're sitting in a cramped internet cafe in a strip mall, not because you lack a rig, but because you need an IP that doesn't trace back to your mother's kitchen table. You're browsing the Tor browser, navigating the jagged edges of the deep web where domains end in .onion. You don't hang out with the script kiddies dorking around school websites. You find the Greenhouse, a private technical bazaar where they don't sell hits of acid, they sell zero-day exploits. An account named Vect0R pings you. No hello, just a 2 kilobyte compressed file and a deadline. Root this sandbox in 10 minutes or don't come back. The environment is a multi-layered fortress. It's using heuristic analysis to flag known malware signatures. You don't use malware, you use ROP, return-oriented programming, hijacking the system's own memory fragments to execute your commands. 8 minutes, 42 seconds. You send back a screenshot of the root directory. The first meeting happens 48 hours later, not in an alley, but in an end-to-end encrypted chat room. Vect0R doesn't ask for your name. He asks for your hardware specs. He tells you to ditch the Dell, buy a refurbished ThinkPad, and swap the internal Wi-Fi for an Alpha card capable of packet injection. He sends you $2,000 in Monero, the ghost of cryptocurrencies. The trust exercise is a harvest. The target is a payment processor in Estonia. Your job isn't the heist, it's the back door. You spend a week scouting the perimeter. You don't bang your head against the firewall. You go for the human element. You find a junior sysadmin who's deep in gambling debt. You send a spear phishing email, a fake bank notification with a malicious macro embedded in a PDF. 1 click. That's all it takes. You're inside the LAN. You perform lateral movement, hopping from the admin's workstation to the core server. You establish a reverse shell connecting back to Vect0R's command and control node. That night, you lie awake listening to the hum of your laptop's cooling fan. You just let a wolf into the sheepfold. You know that by morning, millions will evaporate from Estonian ledgers. You don't get a cut of the cash. Vect0R calls it tuition. A week later, a Pelican case arrives at your door. No cash inside. It's a high-gain antenna, a GPU rack for password cracking, and a forged Czech passport. Vect0R pings. Welcome to the infrastructure team. From now on, your handle is static. Forget your real name. That guy died when the audit logs cleared. You look at the passport. It's your face, but a stranger's identity. You realize you like the feeling, the power of being a ghost in a world that never stops watching. 24 months in. You're not a kid in a strip mall anymore. You're an architect. You live in a high-rise in Panama City, not for the view, but for the lack of an extradition treaty. You don't touch the money, you touch the infrastructure. Your daily routine is a checklist of digital hygiene. You wake up, check the VPN tunnels, rotate the SSH keys, and verify the integrity of your command and control C2 servers. You've built a botnet of 50,000 compromised IoT devices, fridges, cameras, routers, all breathing in unison, waiting for a command. To the world, they're appliances. To you, they're a distributed denial of service, DDoS weapon that can take a mid-sized national bank offline in 11 seconds. You're the logistics lead for a syndicate that spans 3 continents. You don't steal credit card numbers, you steal databases. You've moved from simple phishing to business email compromise, BEC. You don't hack the vault, you hack the person who has the code to the vault. You build a dark help desk. You hire 3 guys in Eastern Europe to handle the ransomware as a service, RAS wing. They write the encryption stubs. You provide the delivery vectors. You take a 30% cut of every payout. The numbers on your screen aren't currency anymore. They're just high scores in a game with no game over screen. The money is a flood, $80,000 a month. It moves through a mixer, a series of automated Tumblr scripts that bounce the Monero through 10 different wallets, converting it to Bitcoin, then back to Monero, then finally into clean shell company accounts in Cyprus. You buy a car you never drive and a watch you never wear. Your real wealth is the zero-day exploit you bought for $200,000. A vulnerability in a major enterprise VPN that gives you the keys to half the Fortune 500. You're at the top of the food chain. You feel untouchable. You've automated the criminality so thoroughly that you only work 4 hours a day. The rest of the time, you watch the logs. You watch the world struggle to patch the holes you've already crawled through. Then, you see a folder on a server you've compromised. It's a regional hospital chain in the Midwest. Your ransomware team hit it yesterday. Standard procedure: encrypt the patient records, drop the .txt ransom note, wait for the insurance company to pay the 400 Bitcoin. You open a file titled admissions_urgent. You see a list of names. One of them catches your eye. It's an old high school teacher from Seattle, the one who told you that you were optimized for nothing. She's on a ventilator. The hospital's systems are locked. The doctors are using pens and paper. The ventilator's telemetry data is failing because the network is choked by your encryption script. You look at the screen. The AES 256 encryption is perfect. It's beautiful. It's also a death sentence. You have the decryption key in a folder on your desktop. It would take you 3 seconds to upload it, but that violates the protocol. Vect 0R's rule: never leave a trace, never make it personal. You stare at the blinking cursor. For the first time, the packets have names. The data has a heartbeat. You're the most efficient logistics manager in the world, and you're currently shipping a casket. You're a ghost. Ghosts don't have heartbeats. You tell yourself this for 3 nights. The AES 256 key sits on your desktop, a flawless sequence of hexadecimal characters. It's the antibody for the virus you helped manufacture. You look at it, then you look at the news report from Seattle. Local hospital network paralyzed by cyber attack, critical care diverted. You don't see the numbers anymore. You see the face of the woman who didn't believe in you, now suffocating in a digital chokehold you helped tighten. Vect 0R's voice echoes in the encrypted chat. Protocol above all, no anomalies, no mercy. You don't sleep. The 48-hour deadline passes. The hospital doesn't pay. Their insurance agent is playing hardball. Your Eastern European team prepares the data leak site, standard escalation procedure. They're going to dump 50,000 patient records on the dark web. It's not about the money anymore. It's about reputation management. You look at the key one last time. You don't think. You SSH into the hospital's backup server. You don't wipe the logs. You leave a single executable file titled decrypt_all.exe. You don't send it to Vect0R. You send it to the lead admin at the hospital from an anonymous one-time email address. It takes them 8 minutes to run it. The network breathes again. The ventilators sync up. The telemetry flows. You watch it happen in real time. It's the most satisfying code you've ever executed. Then, the anomaly hits. Vect0R's C2 server flags the unauthorized decryption. A ripple propagates through the botnet. Your digital hygiene is compromised. You left a signature, a small one, a ghost of a trace, but it's there. Vect0R doesn't message you. His C2 server immediately executes a wipe script on your Panama high-rise rig. Everything. The VPN tunnels, the Monero wallets, the encrypted databases, the zero-day exploit vanishes in 11 seconds. You're $2 million poorer, and you have nothing but a sterilized laptop and a sudden, sharp clarity. The real threat isn't Vect0R. The anomaly you created didn't just alert the syndicate, it alerted the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance. The localized decryption signature was unique. It gave them a thread. They pulled. You don't wait for the knock on the door. You grab the Pelican case, the Alpha card, and the Czech passport. You don't take the car, you take the stairs. You blend into the heat of the Panama City streets. 3 weeks later, you're in a safe house in Belgrade, Serbia. Not safe because of the police, but safe because it's a non-extradition zone. You're back to using an Alpha card and a stolen Wi-Fi signal. You have $4,000 in clean cash left from a dead drop you managed to access. You're browsing an OSINT, Open Source Intelligence Forum. You see a post, Major Ransomware Syndicate Infrastructure Wiped in Coordinated International Raid. Vect0R's command servers are gone. The Eastern European team is in custody. They found them because they traced the anomaly back to the C2 node you compromised. You're not an architect anymore. You're a liability. The DEA is looking for static for money laundering. The FBI wants you for wire fraud. Vect0R's remaining associates want you for treason. You close the laptop. You look at the Serbian rain slicking the window. For the first time, you're not optimized. You're just 404 not found. 3 years later, you're in a town outside of Denver, not the mountains, the flat, dusty part where the wind smells like cattle and diesel. You go by the name Mark. Mark is a data entry clerk for a regional logistics firm that moves industrial HVAC units. You sit in a cubicle with a gray fabric wall. Your monitor is a standard-issue Dell. No dual-screen setups, no liquid cooling, no mechanical keyboards. You use a membrane board that feels like typing on mashed potatoes. You process bills of lading. You verify shipping manifests. You cross-reference inventory SKU numbers against delivery timestamps. The irony isn't lost on you. You're back to the mind-numbing work you fled at 19. But now, the boredom is your armor. Your rig at home is a cheap Chromebook you bought with cash at a pawn shop. You never connect it to the house Wi-Fi. You sit in your car in the parking lot of a 24-hour laundromat, piggybacking off their unencrypted guest network for exactly 12 minutes every Tuesday. You don't visit the greenhouse. You don't check Monero prices. You check the wanted lists on the FBI's IC3 portal. Static is still there, a silhouette without a face, a ghost with a $500,000 bounty for conspiracy to commit wire fraud and computer intrusions. You look at the silhouette, you look at the rearview mirror, you don't recognize either of them. You live in a one-bedroom apartment above a transmission shop. The smell of oil seeped into your clothes months ago. You have $12,000 in cash vacuum-sealed and taped inside the drywall behind the refrigerator. It's your exit node fund. If a black SUV idles too long at the stoplight outside, you're gone. You have a route mapped to the Canadian border that avoids every major toll road and every traffic camera with ALPR, automatic license plate recognition capabilities. Sometimes, late at night, you open a spreadsheet on your Chromebook. It's a ghost of the network you built. You optimize it. You find the bottlenecks you missed in Panama. You shave 3 minutes off the delivery window for a 400-kilo payload of ransomware. You build the perfect, unbreakable system for a syndicate that doesn't exist anymore. Then you delete the file. You don't just move it to the trash, you use a shred command that overwrites the sectors 7 times with random bits. You think about the teacher in Seattle sometimes. You wonder if she's still alive. You wonder if she knows that a string of 64 hexadecimal characters was the only reason she got to keep breathing. Probably not. To her, it was a technical miracle. To you, it was the most expensive undo button in history. The world thinks the danger of the internet is the hacker in the hoodie. They're wrong. The hoodie is for the news cameras. The real danger is the kid who understands that the entire global economy is just a series of API calls and trust protocols. Every day, 1 billion people enter their passwords. They click I agree on terms of service they haven't read. They trust that the HTTPS lock icon means they're safe. They don't realize the lock is just a piece of math, and every piece of math has a solution if you have enough time and enough spite. Somewhere right now, a 19-year-old is sitting in a strip mall staring at a terminal. He just found his first SQL injection. He's realizing that the walls aren't solid. He's deciding whether to report the bug or sell the key. If he's smart, he'll report it. If he's like you, he'll optimize it. And when the world finally catches up to him, he'll find out the ultimate truth of the digital age. You can delete the logs, you can wipe the drive, and you can change your name. But you can never escape the latency. The past always lags behind you, and eventually, the packets always catch up. That's a wrap.